Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Hustle. Today, we're going to show you how you could make £21,600 profit per year from just 4 properties that you don't even have to own. And I'm joined by my incredible inner circle mentee, Lorencia, who has traveled down to be in the studio. Great to have you with us. How are you?
I'm good, Liam.
Excellent. Great. So we're going to do a deep dive today on your portfolio, and we're going to share how other people can go from having zero experience in property and how they can start replacing their income so they can have more time, have more freedom, and really give people the confidence and the knowledge to say, you know what? If Lorencia can do it, I can do it as well. So before we get into the property information, could you just take us back? Were you always an entrepreneur? What was it like growing up for yourself? Just give us a bit of an insight as to life growing up, and where did you grow up and how did that look?
Lovely. Thank you, Liam. It's been a lovely journey. I have been an entrepreneur all of my life until 9 years ago. Yeah, I have my first job after school was in my own business. I own 2 businesses, and until then, I joined my husband in the UK. And when I came, I couldn't start any business like I used to do back home in Ghana. So I have to learn a new skill to do something different from what I have always done.
So it's really interesting. So what is it about entrepreneurship that had you hooked from a very young age?
I own my own mobile phone business and jewelry business as well, which was really successful. I needed to, it had a demand of traveling a lot because we need to import the product back to Ghana. I travel almost every 3 weeks, almost every 3 to 4 weeks. We need to travel to Dubai, China, to import the jewelries, to import the mobile phone and its accessories to Ghana. And I have always enjoyed business because I can see the entrepreneur spots in my life since from childhood. I've been selling for my mom.
Wow, so you enjoy selling?
Yeah.
It sounds to me that you enjoy the hustle.
Exactly.
You enjoy doing deals.
Yeah.
And do you get like a sense of purpose when you get the result?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what always makes me happy.
Excellent.
I feel home.
You feel at home when you're running your own business.
Exactly.
So your husband moved to the UK and then you joined afterwards.
Yeah.
So you came to the UK about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And you've been employed in what sector? So what have you been doing before you'd done the property? What have you been doing in the UK that you weren't enjoying as much as being an entrepreneur?
I have been in the healthcare center for 9 years now. I'm able to help others, I'm happy helping my patients, but I didn't feel, I had no freedom. 12-hour shift, leaving home before 8 o'clock, coming back after 8 o'clock p.m., which was a bit too much for me. I had no time, freedom. And financially, I was stuck. I feel stuck. I can feel I'm happy to help my patient, but I feel that I'm not getting the freedom I need.
It's almost, you feel like you've got a lot more to give.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people that will tune into this that are in a job, or they've even got a business, but they feel trapped. It's not what's serving them to the highest level. But because you've got to pay your bills,
Yeah.
and because you've now got responsibility, you can stay in that process. And people do actually their entire lives, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and nothing changes because they don't do something different to get something different. So you're going through this period of being super successful in Ghana, traveling the world, making money. You had your beautiful children growing up. You're now in sunny England. And we know England, for many people, is doom and gloom. You're working these long hours. So what was the turning point for you? How did you go from that to now being here just over the last couple of years? What was the turning point where you said enough or enough? Where were you? Was you with somebody? Did you have a conversation with yourself? Just talk us through that, because I know lots of people listening will be at their own version of their own turning point right now.
Yes. I would say the turning point was me talking to myself, because I could see this. I was financially stuck. I'm not getting enough from what I was doing financially. Although I was happy, the fact that I'm able to help people, I was happy, but I didn't get the freedom. So one thing that raised my eyebrow most was when it was a Christmas time and I needed some days off during the Christmas holiday to stay with the family, to stay with the kids. And I put my holiday annual leave in, and my manager looked straight into my face. He said, "Lorencia, I'm sorry. We can't grant you this holiday. We don't have enough staff. We don't have people to cover your shift." So that was the time I felt I need to do something about myself. I need to do something else that can give me the time freedom to do what I want to do. Because at that point, I needed a time with the kids at home, which I wasn't given. So I started to look for something that can give me the time freedom and also financial freedom.
You just snapped. You just like, enough is enough, like a realization.
Exactly.
That if you don't do something drastic,
now
you're going to be doing this for the next 10 or 20 years, and then you're going to live with regret, and you've got a much bigger purpose to being on the planet, because you want to go and help more people.
Yes.
Wow, great. So how did you come about meeting me, and how did our journey start together?
I see Liam. I was scrolling.
You're on the socials, stalking people.
Yeah, looking for something else that can give me that kind of financial freedom and time freedom. So I saw Liam talking about property, how property can help you move you from where you are to your financial freedom. I said, look, why don't I give a try to this? So I took the information and got in touch, registered for the boot camp, and I took the opportunity that was presented to me.
Wow, great. So you must have came on one of our online events or something along those lines, but you actually made it to one of the property boot camps.
Yes.
With me and probably, Jay or one of my business partners, and you spent 3 days with us and certified. How important, looking back now, were those 3 days on your success?
That was the life-changing moment for me.
Wow.
Even although I didn't have the funds to start what I wanted to start, all I said is, let me take the opportunity. Later, I will find how I will pay for the course.
Okay.
Yes. So the 3 days was really fantastic. I had so many information, how I can start my own property business. And I said, this is for me. This is what I'm looking for, something like this. After the 3 days boot camp, I made a plan, a payment plan to take up the course.
Because you wanted the mentoring, didn't you? Yes,
Exactly.
You came to the 3 days. Did you get clarity on those 3 days?
It was so great.
So you got some clarity. You decided on your strategy, which we're going to talk about in the next few moments. You made a decision to come and become one of my high-level clients in my inner circle. And we started this process of working with you and mentoring you through the ups and downs that we all have as property investors. Just to summarize mentoring, why did you decide personally that mentoring and working with me was the right thing for you?
You can't just start to do something on yourself when you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the training. I saw this is where I can get the closest mentorship, the community, the support to start what I need to start from. So I would say I needed a mentor, and I thought this is no brainer.
Great. So you saw it as an investment in yourself,
Yeah.
an investment into your business.
Yeah.
Number one, for us to help you make money, but also maybe to protect you, to make sure you don't lose money.
Exactly.
And I think mentorship is also, for me, when I invest into mentorship, it is to also protect me and to give me access to that mentor, their team, and to keep me to a very high level of accountability. So you kicked off with the inner circle, which was incredible.
Yeah.
You know, you would have invested around £25,000 to be in inner circle, which really, in the bigger scheme of things, it's just 1 or 2 deals rental income. What property strategy did you decide was going to work for you?
Yes, at that moment, I needed a cash flow, something that I can get money quickly, something that will be faster. And I needed results as well. So that was what made me join the inner circle, so that I can get close to the mentors and get faster results. So my strategy was rent to rent, HMO.
HMO is great.
And service accommodation.
Great. So for anyone tuning in, a HMO is a house in multiple occupancy.
Yeah.
This is where you have a property and then you rent out the rooms on an AST to tenants.
Yeah.
And then serviced accommodation, this is where it's like a hotel where you're renting out the apartment or the property night by night. And you've got guests coming into that property. And rent to rent, just so everyone is clear, this is where you don't have to buy an asset. So it's minimum cash in, maximum profit out, but you rent a property from a landlord. And then with the right legal contract, which we gave you, you're able to then re-rent that property as a HMO or a serviced accommodation, depending what fits. Does that sound about right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, great,
right.
Good. So we're going to start doing a deep dive now on your first deal. So you get in the mentoring, you get yourself up and running, you start setting everything up, you become compliant, do your website. I'm sure you got your business cards done, set your domain up. Going through those initial few weeks and months where you actually became that entrepreneur again that was missing, and you had your own business with your own identity, how did that make you feel, and what impact did that have on you as a person?
I would say I found myself again.
Great.
So I was so happy. I'm able to start the business, and start it, and also start it in the right way, being compliant, because that was one of my fear when I came in the country, and that was what I was doing, business. So I was thinking, how can I do this here and do it right? That's where I really wanted to get the mentorship, make sure I go the right
So it's
way.
like you found yourself again.
Yes.
Full of eager,
So
positivity,
happy.
really happy again.
Yes.
When you're doing something you really love, this is one of the best things. And this is why we encourage anyone tuning in, follow that passion. You don't have to stay stuck. So let's talk about your first deal. How did you find the deal? What was maybe a challenge going through that process, and how did we help you overcome it?
My biggest challenge was going out there, putting myself out there, calling the agent, and also getting a good deal, knowing that this deal is the right deal. And yeah, so that was my fear, my challenge, I would say. So when I got my first deal, I made a course, sending messages on Open Rent. It was sometimes, I remember I called one letting agent one morning, and she said, the lady said, oh, she used a word, it's an abomination for us to rent, to do company lets. That pushed me back a lot. And I said, So I booked one-to-one with one of my mentors, and I spoke with him. Said, I have made so many calls, but this morning one was different. Why would they say it's abomination to do company lets? What is the reason? And he encouraged me. This shouldn't stop you. Continue to make the calls every day. When they say no, it won't be no forever. Continue making the calls. And I do the work. I did the course. What he told me to do, I keep on doing it until this one was a message I sent to Open Rent. And the estate agent replied to me, oh, what do you do with your property? What do you do? And I explained what we do. I sent a message. I want to book for a viewing. So okay, so when are you ready? When are you ready to come and view? So I put in my availability. I met the landlord, and he was happy to give me the property for my first deal. Yes! I was so happy. Yes.
The more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes.
Exactly.
And in many cases, actually, we as a relocation agent, doing rent to rent, that's how we position ourselves. You sometimes have to educate the landlords and the agents because they just don't understand, or they're glass half empty rather than glass half full. And here's the thing. You could have decided to give up and say this doesn't work.
Sure.
And if you do nothing, you get nothing. But you persevered. You followed the step-by-step process that we show you and mentor you with. And then all of a sudden, you go and get that first deal. So you land your first rent-to-rent deal.
Yeah.
You use it as a HMO, a house in multiple occupancy.
Yes.
Great. And what was it like, picking up those keys and then getting the property ready for your tenants? And in this property, just so everyone is aware, what type of tenants do you have?
I have working professionals from healthcare, NHS, and yeah, I pick out. I was happy with my first deal. I was kind of a bit nervous. I have to get the room ready because it was empty, unfinished. So I need to finish the rooms and make sure I put all the compliance in the fire systems, everything, and then put it out there for advertisement. So yeah, I was lucky.
What did you use to advertise? What site?
Spare room.
Spare room. Excellent. Spare room. Great.
Yeah, spare room, and it was so quick. And I also left a leaflet in a nearby barber shop, and they also there was people coming from there as well.
Great.
So I got people in so quickly, and yeah, so that was my turning point.
Because that's always a worry for people, that they get the property, they agree to now pay rent to the landlord because your company is responsible for that.
Yeah.
And then people say, well, what if I don't get the tenants? But hey, every job, every business has ups and downs. This is why you've got to do the market research before to know that buying or renting a property in that area from a landlord, you're going to have the demand. And of course, you've then got to be good at seeing those opportunities and putting the leaflet in the barber shop. Yeah. Or making the phone calls, or making sure your property looks really nice. And of course, we would have given you some sort of checklist for this to make sure you tick all the boxes.
Exactly. I follow each and every of the checklists, make sure I have done them all and meets all the requirements. And yeah.
Wow, great.
I followed the plan, and it was
great. So is that, how many bedrooms is that HMO?
That was a 5-bedroom.
Oh, that's a 5-bed HMO.
Yeah.
Let's do a talk on the numbers. So it's a 5-bed HMO, out to professionals.
Yeah.
Rented out super fast.
Yeah.
How much rent do you pay to the landlord per month?
That one was 2,400.
Okay, so that's what you pay to the landlord.
Yeah.
And then the 5 bedrooms, how much income does that produce per month?
That 5-bedroom comes with 3,850.
Wow, 3,850.
Yeah.
So that's what you have income.
Yeah.
Then of course you've got to cover the bills.
Yeah.
And any sort of small maintenance.
Yes.
Then you've got to pay the rent to the landlord. So give or take, what does that net you per month after costs, that one property?
Per month.
Per month, yeah.
I roughly, after everything, after the bills, everything, rent payments, everything, I earn roughly £600.
£600, yeah. £600 from an asset that probably doesn't take up much of your time. Of course, there is some time involved.
Yeah.
But if you look at earning £600 as a healthcare expert, or earning £600 as an entrepreneur, which one would you choose?
Definitely.
The one where you're doing it yourself, right?
Yes.
And it's not, we're not talking millionaire money straight away, but £600 to people listening to this now, an extra £600 on top of their salary could make a huge difference. That could be 25% on top. So you got your first deal, you're making £600 a month. Fast forward a couple of years now, how many properties do you have in the portfolio?
I've got 4 properties.
4 now, yeah? And they're all rent to rent HMO?
Yeah.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. And how did you source the other 3 properties? What's the key to sourcing properties?
It's all about doing the calls.
Okay.
Reaching out to the estate agents and the landlords. You don't stop. You get the objections, you get the no's.
Yeah.
But you don't let those no's keep you back.
Right.
You need to keep on doing the course, and that's what I did. And the first property I had was from the estate agent, and that same estate agent offered me another property.
Wow.
I had another different estate agent who also offered the fourth one. The second estate agent I had a third property from the second estate agent, and he also gave me the fourth one.
Wow.
And it has not stopped. From there,
so it's build relationships with the agents.
Building the relationship.
You said to me before we went live that they're now calling you with deals. And again, in 2 years, we're not talking about 10 or 20 deals, but you're doing this at your pace. And what's important is to be profitable. So just to give everyone an idea, the 4 properties now, they net you profit, how much per year?
£1,800.
About 21,800 was it, yeah?
Per year.
Per year.
It's roughly 21,600.
21,600. Wow, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as a result of you now making 21,600 from 4 properties that you don't even own, what changes have you been able to make in your life over the last couple of years?
It's been amazing. It has almost replaced it has moved me from full-time to part-time.
Okay, so you're now part-time as a care expert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Healthcare professional.
And then what impact, now that you've gone part-time, what impact has that had on you, your family, your husband, your children?
I have had the freedom of time.
Great.
Because the number of days I have taken off work, I have that time for myself to do what I love to do. And also financially, I'm a bit relieved, I would say. I don't struggle too much. I know I have something coming from somewhere.
Brilliant. What's the plan for the next 12 months? How many properties would you hope to acquire in the next 12 months?
I'm looking to acquire more than what I have now.
Okay, so you want to double the portfolio.
Or triple it.
Yeah.
Get
in there, girl, in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get you back on the show in 12 months. I'm going to hold you to that now as your mentor. All right, so you're going to go anywhere from 8 to 12 properties. Well, that could be generating you in the region of £7,000, £8,000 or £9,000 a month income. What impact is that going to have?
Huge.
Game changing, right?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
I believe by then I will be able to deploy myself and go full-time into property.
Full-time in property. And then go and help even more people.
Help others.
Because that's really what's in your heart.
Yes.
And I know that is what, lots of people tuning in want to do. So look, I'm so pleased that you are part of Assets for Life. A massive congratulations on those initial 4 deals. You've put in the work. You've been brave. You're a huge inspiration. So keep doing what you need to do. And I'm sure we'll have you back at some point in the future talking about even more success. So well done.
Thank you, Liam.
It's lovely having you with us.
Thank
well
you.
done. Wow. So there we have it. It just goes to show that if you've got a drive and a desire to transform, and you want more for your future, more for you, more for your family, then just maybe the current situation you're in is not going to serve you to the highest level. And perhaps property is something to explore and give a go. If it doesn't quite work out, well, you can always go back to what you're doing. Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond the Hustle, and I'll see you in the next episode.